What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Okie Podcast. On today's episode, I have two amazing guests. My guests are Kinsey and Joseph, and they are from the historical natives. So this will be kind of the first installment of what is coming to Okie Podcast for the month of October. Month of October, I'm having a lot of some really cool guests that kind of dive into cryptids and paranormal and just kind of getting the spirit of Halloween, I guess. So, without any further ado, what's going on, Joseph and Kinsey?
Hi.
Hello. Not much going on. Just working as normal.
Well, thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it, and I'm so glad that we can make this happen. I enjoy your podcast. So the people that don't know, they have a podcast where they talk about a lot of stories involving indigenous stories, scary stuff, paranormal stuff, cryptids, and right now they're on a little hiatus, but they're coming back. We just kind of talked about that, and so for the listeners, I guess real quick, well, not real quick, however long, for the listeners, just tell where you're from and what was growing up like, and then what kind of interested you in starting this podcast.
I guess you can go first. Where do you come from?
So hi, I'm Mackenzie. I was born on Vancouver Island in Victoria, BC, Canada. I spent most of my time just growing up in Victoria and just throughout the island. And then I became quite the nomad with my mom, and we moved quite a bit, and we moved to Saskatchewan and then to Ontario for a little bit, and then I moved back to Victoria. And yeah,
I had a significantly less nomadic life. I just grew up in a small little settlement known as Souk. Not even in town. I lived in East Souk, so just way out in the middle of nowhere. That actually might be some inspiration for some of my stories, but I don't know. It wasn't until Mackenzie moved back here to the island for school and we started hanging out more. That's when we started building the idea of making some sort of podcast together.
Mm-hmm.
We both enjoy the horror genre, video games, movies, and whatnot. And we had opinions, and we're like, let's just voice our opinions on a podcast. But we had our own lives. We're busy, so nothing really happened for a couple of years. And then suddenly we're living together downtown, and there's a pandemic, and we have the opportunity to do something since we were both suddenly unemployed. So we're like, might as well just be creative or something instead of sitting around. And so we decided to make a podcast with help from the 3C Challenge, a program from UVic. They helped us with funding and helped us really get our idea together, and inspired us to make Indigenous related podcasts. So their input and ours came together to create the Historical Natives, which was a horror themed Indigenous podcast.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. That's the same thing happened to me. It took the pandemic to get me started too. I kept talking about doing this and I just never did it, and got furloughed, and I wasn't really doing anything, just playing video games, and I was like, man, you know what? I should just try to start this or do something. And so I did my research, and because I had no idea how to do any of this stuff. It seemed pretty simple, but the more I thought about it, it was like, well, dang, I gotta talk into a mic. I don't have any mics. I don't know how to set all the stuff up, and I don't know how to put it on the computer. I don't have a computer. So I mean, it's like once you start thinking about it, it's like holy shit, it's a lot of like it's a process, and you
Yeah.
do have to do your research. You do have to understand like what you're doing. And what do you guys record on?
Well, we
have a tiny little microphone that we have.
Yeah,
They both use the same
you know
one.
those like snowball ones. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we just share that, and then we use like the Adobe
Audition.
Audition. I think it's
Audition.
called.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she had it
Yeah.
from like a subscription from her work, so
Yeah.
we just use that.
But you're right. It's definitely a process, and editing has just been like just a big new thing, and you don't realize how long it's actually going to take until you start doing it.
Yeah, before we started doing this, we were essentially in completely different industries, and we're using completely different skill sets for the most part. Me and Mackenzie was studying interior design, and I was doing other design related stuff.
Mhm.
And now suddenly I'm writing stories and doing IT, and Mackenzie's editing and researching and all these other things. So it's definitely a 180.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, nobody. Okay, so you use Adobe Audition. What host do you guys use?
No, it's Audition.
Oh, our hosting site is a cast. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, we just switched. We were using Buzzsprout, and then now I think we're using.
Yeah, we switched due to appearance troubles. We on our website we have a little like HTML widget thing, and like our website's like very dark, and like the Buzzsprout one was like really bright, and you just couldn't change it, and it was kind of like a tiny sun in the middle of our website, and I was like, this is not something, no. So we just found a cast, and they have like a dark mode, and we're like, this is home.
Yeah. This is where we need to be.
Yeah. So we use a cast. That's what we
use. Yeah, I use a Red Circle. How's Buzzsprout? How's besides
it's
too bright?
Yeah, a really good starter. They've got such a good website to help you start your podcast, and they even like handle reaching out to all like the third parties for you. So like when we were signing up for our Spotify and all those other listening stuff, all we had to do was just click a button, and then they did that for us.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to make a website, they just made a website for you.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good landing page. But
yeah, it was pretty cute. But we wanted more.
Yeah,
stuff.
we're like creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they do get a dark mode, I'm just saying we might switch that.
But until then, we're sticking with it.
Oh my god. So with your podcast, so for kind of explain it for the people that don't know. I didn't want to explain it all, like, because I really do enjoy your podcast. But for the people that don't know, kind of explain like what your podcast is and what it's about, because you have a lot of good info on it.
Yeah, it's very much turning into like a research paper style thing, where we're really trying to like get information backed by reliable sources, sort of thing.
Yeah, because when we first started, it was very
we were just in the
Yeah.
wild. Like we didn't like we didn't know what to really do. We had very
We knew we wanted to talk about the beings and a little bit about the history, but we didn't know how to really like connect the two. And that's what we struggled with at the beginning. And then I think it was after the Windigos.
the Wendigo.
I just don't want to say it.
Yeah, like something definitely. The Wendigo episode is the first one that has a story with it, and that's when we really started to like, okay, we could like be more creative with this.
Yeah.
So our podcast is now we've gone through our like, what can we do? We're now trying to polish it more and have better sources. I'm just saying the same thing over again, but
better content, better sources,
from
more
like
reliable too. Because when we're looking up the beings, it's very
bare bones.
very bare bones.
I feel like I'm gonna say bare bones.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. It's like,
Yeah, it's hard to find information and correct information too.
also, there's like 2 websites as information.
Yeah.
So that's why we're definitely going to try to add more sources from reservations and elders.
And elders.
Yeah, and like if possible, like we would and will go to there in person, but financial and
pandemic
health limitations.
Yeah.
So our podcast is really just research, stories, and some artwork.
Oh yeah, we didn't really explain what our
Yeah, no, I'm like trying to get back to the question. What our podcast is.
Okay, so basically the structure of our podcast is we introduce ourselves, the people. So with that, we talk about culture, language, history. With the language, we try to give you a word of the episode or phrase. And then we'll talk about the being, any characteristics we can find. And then we'll talk about our story. Like then it's the story. Yeah. Oh, well, and now we've started to do a call to action as well.
Yeah.
When we talk about the people.
Yeah. Where do you where do you do your research? Like is it just Google and like is there a specific like website you go to or
Google. I read through a lot of books.
A lot of like articles.
A lot of articles. And we've been trying to reach out to elders as well. But, yeah, that's mainly our sources. It's just the internet. Yeah, and that's why we're really trying to go back and get it from the source instead of getting it from the internet.
Yeah. With our newfound research skills.
Yeah.
Just because like the first episode 10 minutes does not do it justice.
No.
So it's like we have to redeem our past less skilled selves.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first episode, what's that called? The Wachiga?
The Wachige.
Yeah.
Wachige?
So it's like an ancient pardon?
Or the Wachiga? Wachiga?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Yeah, so it's a cannibalistic spirit. It's also been known to be an ancient ice being as well.
Yeah, I just pulled up our little research document that we had. Yeah, it's an Asian ice cannibal of the northern Athabascan mythology. Not sure if that's the correct terminology, but that's what's on the document right now. Yeah, I could just tell you what we have on it right now. It's a person who has become possessed or overpowered by the spirit of a great animal and has been evolved into a giant bestial form. Some versions depict the Ouija as an ancient ice giant, invulnerable to harm and only defeated by being melted from campfire.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Freaking ice giant.
So even from that like little tiny blurb that we just said, there's like so much more we can talk about in the episode that we can like explore, like what more is in the northern Athabascan mythology. What are these great animals that they're talking about, and why only campfire?
This is hot.
Is there different types of fire?
I think campfire is just easier because.
What if you had like a flamethrower?
Good questions.
I feel like this can be explored in the upcoming story. Do they find a flamethrower? Maybe. But like, what if it's a what if? It's like, oh, you didn't kill it because it wasn't campfire. It was a flamethrower, and it's not the same thing.
Like a classic horror movie ending.
Yeah, it's like dun dun. Does not explain that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I just seen a video on TikTok where it wasn't like Iceland. It was somewhere, I think the video said Afghanistan or something, but they're like digging this deep ass hole, and I don't know if this is real or not, but this dude has a camera and he's like listen closely, and there's like these like screams like below, like where they're about to start digging like even deeper. And so I don't know if that's real or not, but it's like it does sound like giants or something, like I don't know. But I mean there's just so many things going on with like giants now. And then like Hollow Earth, I think that's what it's called, where the giants do live at that part of the earth. So, and they're about to start coming out now. So I don't know. It's getting interesting now.
You know who does a good thing for the Hollow Earth? That new Godzilla movie that just came out. Godzilla versus King Kong.
Versus Kong, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning. You haven't seen it.
Spoiler.
Yeah. They do talk about the Hollow Earth.
Just watch the entire happening. No warning whatsoever.
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
Yeah.
It's been out since March, so.
Yeah.
With Baby Hutch in it.
Yeah, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
It's another good one.
Now we're just talking movies.
I haven't seen that one, Journey to the Center of the Earth. I haven't seen that. You can spoil it for me if you want.
I don't know. I haven't seen it since I first saw it.
Yeah, it's got like Brandon Fraser in it.
I don't know what that is.
What? The Mummy?
Okay. You know, George of the Jungle?
What?
He's also from the movie.
Oh, is he like the big, like, square-headed guy? Or like rectangular? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the hair?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Encino Man?
What was the question?
I don't know, just talking about giants in general, Hollow Earth and underground or whatever. Like just seeing all these videos on TikTok about all this, like, well, like there's so much stuff on TikTok now. Like,
yeah,
there's people looking for skinwalkers and Windigo, and
I mean, why look for them?
Why? Why are you looking for them? I don't understand that. And if you really want to, just go whistle at night. That's all you got to do. They'll find you.
I don't think any of them know that.
Yeah, that's why they elders and stuff say don't whistle at night. It's because of stick Indians, Windigos, skinwalkers. Who else? Tall man or walking Sam. All of those beings love it when you whistle at night.
Oh my god, it's like an interesting story. There's like just like a small town, maybe like a medium-sized town.
Yeah.
But like there's like hookers at night and stuff. And they're like
Sex
whistling.
workers.
Yeah. They're like, because they like whistle, right?
Yeah.
What if she's like whistling and they're like on the outskirts of town, there's like a wooded area and she's trying to get the attention of someone, but then she keeps hearing something on the side of her.
Yeah.
Every time she whistles, it gets closer.
Because is your inspiration our neighborhood.
And I was just thinking about it because you're talking about whistling and it's like going on. Yeah, you're gonna have to send us this recording. Once we say things, immediately forget about it.
It's gone. Yeah. So he's like, write that down. Where's your book?
Yeah, we have like very single processor brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're told that too, not to whistle, not to knock, not to even look outside in the dark, because it's like another possible dimension or something. Because all these beings come out at night, and I don't know, they could be looking at you, you don't even know it, or but I don't know why. I was just told not to do that stuff. Nobody ever explained, like they just said don't do it, and so
like that's a lot of people fail each other is by lack of communication. Usually never ends well.
Yeah. I think it's also, if we don't talk about it, if we don't acknowledge it, then they won't disturb us. Whereas if we are talking about it and, we're whistling too at night, we're just drawing more attention to ourselves. I think maybe that's their thought process for that. Yeah,
because a lot of them, if you like say their names or anything, it like summons them basically.
Yeah. So I don't really. That's also why I want to go back and do the Windy Boys again, because
I just realized they're really bringing back this whole like don't ask, don't tell thing.
Yeah. Because when you say the wind, go, that also draws them to you. So that's why we want to go back and revisit that, is to fix our constant talking of them with their name. Because you can like talk about them, just don't say their name. Yeah.
Like it's like the whole universal names of power sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you don't want to say, if you want to have like a different word for it, you could be like fast winds.
Because they do
could be like a universal
fast winds
like
to travel.
Like warning, don't go up that mountain. There's fast winds up there. Or like heavy wind. Probably just gonna get to like so far where it's like indecipherable.
Yeah, we'll have to start doing that. So I'll say windy. I'll say windy, and then like skin runner.
Yeah.
What was the other one you're talking about? The walking.
Oh, Tall Man or Walking Sam?
Yeah, what's that?
So he is a dark entity, and around it, like suicide tends to be around him. So a sad example of this is the Pine Ridge Reservation, and the one that we talk about in our episode. They've been seeing a lot of suicide cults, and just like big sort of suicides, and the elders have been saying for years that it's him, and no one believes them. Yeah, he's just he can be described as a tall man with a top hat. Usually you'll see his victims swinging from his arms, or he's very tall still and furry. But the common thing for him is his bright glowing red eyes. Yeah. And whistling.
Yeah, and like his goal essentially is to eat or take your soul, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole like suicide stuff comes into it. So that's how he like lures you.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. You do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He'll make you go crazy and make you like really depressed and sad and distance yourself from everyone. And then it just gets to a point where you know.
Yeah, he just has a unique way of feeding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A good way to say that. It's got a
That could be
unique
like the little
way.
subtitle on the like poster. A unique way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So the tall man's the same thing too, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same guy. Just
Okay.
have different names.
So have you both seen Reservation Dogs? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So is that okay?
That's, yeah.
Okay. Well, like I didn't know what that was. I just thought it was like Bigfoot or something, but
I thought too at first.
then the red glowing eyes is what you're talking about, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know what this is, and nobody really knew what it was, and then the kid committed suicide. So, and everybody was asking like, was that his spirit that came back with the red eyes and all that? So everybody was kind of, wondering what that was. And when you talked about that story, I was like connecting those dots. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that was the tall man or the walking Sam, I guess.
Sam.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. Historical natives connecting dots.
Yeah. I also got really excited watching Res Dogs too, because before we went on our little hiatus, we were going to do the Deer Woman for our next episode, and I had like drawn her up and everything. But then we decided that we wanted to go back and revamp. And then the first episode of Res Dogs, she just gets a name drop in there. And then like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's really good. I just love how they talk about just the beings as just physical as well,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got really excited.
Yeah, sounds like a good show and everyone should watch it.
It is.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I'm not seeing it.
No.
What?
I showed them the first episode, and then because we're watching it on Disney Plus, they only have it. They're doing it like weekly.
Like why?
Yeah. Why?
I know, right?
Is it like addiction prevention or something?
Maybe so you don't binge it all in one night.
So you like process it and talk about it, and maybe like it'll get more advertisement. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, they talk about I'll just say it. Little people on there, and that was in that one episode. But they don't like dive into it. They just mention it like they did the Deer Woman, and but we don't actually see any of that. There's just like little sculptures or something. But yeah, and the one thing that I don't know what, or I still haven't solved it yet. Do you remember the first episode where it's the end credits and the cop Big, he's in that field, right? And he's with the chopped off heads of catfish and there's shoes laying around too. And so that next episode, he talks about it and he says, I seen this and I was looking at this and it looks like Bigfoot activity. That's all he says, and then he says, "Oh, I locked my keys in the car too, so I couldn't like get in my car." And they never like say what that whole scene is about. Like, unless I missed it, I have no idea. But I'm still like trying to
No.
figure out like what the hell that was. Like, and I never knew Bigfoot to do anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe you knew. I don't know.
No. I thought maybe like the same thing because of the fish, because that's one of the main things that they eat are fish and berries and stuff. However, they tend to just stay more in their forests. So it would be odd for one to just take a stroll through their
I think another problem is there's
town.
so many beings in
Yeah.
Native American area that like it could almost be anything. There's just so many things
in
that
like
could.
Oklahoma, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's like
And there's like
so
so
many
many,
things.
yeah, there's so many beings that like
Yeah.
have like mimicking abilities to try to trick people. So it's like
Could be anything.
we should make a roadmap sometime.
But we talked about that a few months ago.
The historical natives, Native American cryptology.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Guide.
Yes.
I would buy that.
Yeah, the idea is born here, so no one should steal it.
Yeah, no one steal that. It's documented right now.
We have timestamps.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah, there is so many like beings and everything out there. I live here in Oklahoma, and so
Each other too.
do what?
I said a lot of them are quite similar to each other too.
Mm-hmm.
Just slightly different.
Yeah, like
What were you gonna say?
oh well, like so I live here in Oklahoma, and the only things I know of are Bigfoot, LPs. We have these things called Jackolanterns. When I was growing up, those were like these orbs, or like these bright red or bright orange orbs that mainly little kids, or like maybe somebody that was lost. I think I can't really remember the story, but if you were somewhere and you seen these things, like they would lead you off, like and get you lost to where you can't like ever find your way home or whatever.
And this is what I love about cryptozoology too, because who has something very similar to that is the Celtish people in like Scotland. I believe they're called wisps. And they are also, don't know too much about them, but I believe they are same sort of glow circle things that lead you off the path and into the woods. So yeah.
I also think that's just another area that we want to explore is the similarities across cultures. Not something that we want to go like too into because we already have a lot on our hands. But like we definitely want to investigate the similarities between beings from different areas of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But our current problem right now is we're still trying to find a way to organize everything in a way that it makes sense and is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what other things are out there, like, because I only know like our stuff, but I remember watching the show when I was a kid. It was called Beyond Bizarre. Have you both ever heard of that show?
No.
So it was like
The
this
name was
crazy show. Yeah. And I remember they'd always show like paranormal stuff, or like cryptids, and I remember this one episode. I was just a little kid, and they had a chupacabra on there, and it was oh my god, what was it? I think it was like in Brazil or something, but they were like out in the middle of nowhere, and all these people were gathered, and they were saying there's this giant bat-like creature with what they say, like it looked like an experiment pretty much, but it had bat wings and it was like I think it had like alligator skin and it had teeth like a shark, I think, but it had two fangs like a vampire, and it had like glowing red eyes. And all these people like freaking out. I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I was just like so freaked out because I was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna come here!" And it was like showing these goats like with the two bite marks in its necks, and there were like all these like goats like just laying around like dead like that, and that was so freaky. And I remember that like when I was a kid, and I was just like scared beyond like whatever. But I was so glued to the TV, like I always watched that show. But oh my god, like it scared me so much when I was a kid, and that's when I first got a little taste of like outside cryptids or whatever from what I was used to growing up, because my uncles and aunts would come over and just tell all these scary stories about all these Native American stuff, and that would freak me out too. But that TV show was like, there's more out there than just like what we know about.
Yeah.
You know, another sort of thing like yours of similarities of another culture's cryptid. We recently watched this movie called Hole in the Ground.
Yeah.
And it had
Changelings.
changelings in it, which is similar to skinwalkers.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
You can go into more detail. I haven't done the research.
Changelings are also from Celtish and Irish, I believe. And I believe they're associated with the Fae. And what would happen is children would be switched with Fae children, changelings.
Mhm.
And like the mothers would know that like things were different about their child, but they couldn't really pinpoint why. And it was because their child was taken and replaced with a changeling. And they can mimic everything about your child. Like it looks like your child. But the movie kind of changes that and makes them like very similar to skinwalkers in the sense that they can take your form and your voice and mimic you. Whereas in the movie, they did all that, but could like actually look like you and talk like you. And skinwalkers are a little bit different because you can tell if you look closely at them that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's that called? Hole in the Ground?
Yeah. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun little mind twist at the end.
The ending is so good, just like when you think about it.
Yeah.
It was really good, in my opinion. And I already knew what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling our mother about the hole in the ground because we went on a little road trip yesterday. And then she was telling me that like, she was like, yeah, you would, a lot of times you would just like disappear throughout the day and then come back all happy. And then that also reminded me of like one of my cousins where she was always afraid of mirrors because apparently something on the other side of a mirror attacked her. And it was like this grayish figure that came in and tried to get her. And now she just never likes mirrors. So if you watch the movie, this will start to make more sense. The whole mirror thing.
Yeah, they're saying like don't mess with mirrors too. Like, well, on TikTok again, like this is where I get all my stuff. So have you seen that app or a filter or whatever that it moves your face for you or it grins for you or something? Oh no, it's the eyes. So the eyes like it moves your eyes or something. So people use it on pictures of their dead family members or friends or whatever. But people started doing it in mirrors, and they started putting a camera on the mirror when they're not even actually moving. The eyes in the fucking mirror are moving, and so it freaks them out. And people are like on the comment section like, don't do that because that's another like dimension, or that's another world or something like. And but it always seems to be the eyes look directly in the camera, and then they look at the person like they're plotting something. Like, it's so fucking weird.
Yeah. It just goes back to that thing. Don't mess with things you don't know. You know? Yeah. Do your research before you start playing with mirrors or playing with spirits.
Yeah. Nobody wants to. They want to just do it. There's another video too where it's this dude on there, and I guess it's a seance or something. It's a 7 deadly sin seance, I guess. And so he's doing it in his apartment at like, I think it's 3 a.m. He's actually doing it. And I don't know if this is real or not. It might be fake, but it looks pretty legit. He's in there. He was on live stream, and he's doing it. And there's like a light that's coming in from the outside, and like behind him, there's a shadow behind him. It's his shadow, and then there's like another shadow is moving behind him. And it looks like it's all hunched up, like a little hunched up person that's moving around behind him. And somebody on the live stream says, "Who is that? Like, is that somebody you know?" And he looks, and it's gone. And then he's like, "Yeah, y'all playing around or whatever." And then like there's like all this noise coming from, I think, his kitchen or his bedroom. And he gets out of that little satanic circle, and he looks down the hallway, and then everything's dark, like pitch black. Just candles are lit, and you can see like a little bit of light from the moon, I'm guessing. And this like shadow or figure just kind of keeps poking its head first, then it goes back in, and then it's like whole body, and it's like walking out, and it's like hunchbacked over, like in the freaking shadow that was being shown earlier. And it starts like walking towards him. He's like screaming around, and his dog's going crazy, and he's like, "I don't want to do this no more. How do you stop this?" And just like freaking out. And then I think somebody said in the chat, like, you have to go through the entire thing and then ask it to leave. Yeah. And so this thing like moves to his kitchen, and it's moving around, and it's just this hunched over shadow thing. I don't know, but it looks pretty legit. I don't know if it's fake or not.
They also say, like, once you're in your circle, don't leave it, because that's the circle's main goal, is to keep you safe in that circle. So the fact that he just left just shows that like no research or thought went into
this is definitely a case of like negligence to get all like illegal on it. Because like I was just thinking about, as you were talking about your story, I was like thinking about something entirely different. But I was thinking about, in a lot of like horror media and stuff, animals typically are the ones to just die. So I feel like if you have an animal, like, you shouldn't be messing around with this type of stuff, because like this animal doesn't know what's going on. Just all of a sudden something shows up, and it's suddenly in danger.
Yeah. And they're always the first ones to go, because they're the ones who alert the humans that something's not right. I agree.
So animal rights is what I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah. Also, I've noticed that like on a lot of like haunted TikTok, they always seem to call out to the energy and engage with it and feed it the fear. And then when stuff starts to happen, they get all scared and just feed it more energy. And it's like, this is what you asked for, you know? And now that you're getting that, all you're doing is just feeding it. And if you want it to go away, just say, go away, and clean your house with some incense or something.
Wow.
Or
We
if
could
you're
also sell house cleansing kits.
yeah. Or if you're indigenous, you can use white sage.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually knew a girl called Sage who was white. Just go on. Okay.
Yeah, that's always like
Never.
that's always funny how they want it, like they want this stuff to happen, they want these I guess for the views or whatever, and once it really starts
Yeah.
happening they freak out. And I was told that too, like just stand up to it, don't be afraid of it, because you give it energy when you're afraid of it, and then you just keep not wanting to be a part of it or something. But like I was told, like, stand your ground and just say leave, get out of my house or whatever, and then like smudge too after that. But that's what I was told too.
What else are you supposed to do though?
Yeah. Because a lot of the times too, they don't realize that these entities can just latch to you. So even if you get all scared and decide to move, chances are that thing's coming with you.
Yep.
Because you invited it into your space and into your life. So now you have to deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah. It's definitely like a case of lack of understanding, because you were saying how people are usually all like confident at first, but like the instant that they realize that this thing that they brought is stronger than them, like they don't realize. I feel like there's definitely a case of a sort of superiority complex in just general people.
Well, that, and they a lot of the times I think that they don't really believe it either, right? They're just trying to see if it's real, and then the second it does get real, they're like, oh, this is a no.
Yeah, it's like when you realize you suddenly let in a predator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it's like suddenly you realize you're prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get scared.
Mm.
Oh my God.
I feel like the being on the other side of that, that's something that must be really gratifying for them, is the switch between predator to prey.
Yeah.
Just some thoughts.
Ugh, and they're tricky too. It sucks.
So that's probably going back to what I was just like interrupts you.
Yeah.
But going back to what I'm saying, that's probably why a lot of these beings do what they do, because they just love tricking people, I guess.
Yeah, because most of the time they go after vulnerable and grieving people, because they like to make you think that it's your loved one coming back. So then you reach out to, mediums, and you reach out to the unknown thinking that it's your loved one because you're grieving them, right? And you want to still hold on to that piece of them. But in the end, it's just this tricky little person who's just wanting to come in and really mess you up.
Yeah, and it's like probably as a being that is like truly in its nature evil, that's probably really gratifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they love it when they can trick you and when they can feed off of your fear.
Also, I feel like especially in like media and whatnot, when it shows like just a lot of times it's just like young people being stupid and just like having a laugh about it, I feel like it would make sense that they definitely go much harder with those people, because they definitely underestimated what they're finding.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, speaking from experience, my friends and I, when we were little, we were, this was when I was living in Chemanis. I invited them over. We made it our own makeshift Ouija board, and we played with it in my house. Yeah, we didn't close it properly. And soon after, things started to happen, and this entity was in our house.
I don't know why we haven't made a story about this.
Because I don't like talking
So
about
easy
it.
to already say that.
And what's scary about him is like we had my mom's boyfriend come over, and he was very spiritual with like his indigenous culture, and he told it to like get out, you're not welcome here, this is not your home, leave. And then he smudged and it just angered it. Yeah. And then so we eventually called in my mom's best friend, Adele, and her family is also very, connected with their culture. And they came over and did like a big like ceremony in our house and went through with like cedar, brushed everything down, brushed us off. And it seemed like everything calmed down. But I don't think that it actually ever left me, because so after a time, after like they like cleaned everything, things in the house kind of calmed down. And then eventually we moved to Nanaimo and everything seemed fine and back to normal and stuff. And then one morning,
To quickly cut you off, though.
Yeah.
When people like say that they like cleanse out, everything's fine, and they move.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely that sudden burst of energy from the people having to move from one location to another that definitely gives it back its power.
Yeah.
Like gives it like just a booster to get back to what it's trying to do.
Yeah, because we thought that things were returning to normal and stuff, and one morning we come out and to eat breakfast and stuff and wake up, and all the cupboards in our kitchen had been opened and all the drawers had been pulled out, and my mom looked at me and was like, "Why'd you do this? Why'd you do this?"
Definitely need a mom character in that story.
And I was like, "I didn't do this. I just woke up. I'm just as confused as you are." It's just like, okay, so let's clean this house because clearly something followed us.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bring back that like smudging thing. I feel like there must be definitely like some sort of hierarchy of beings that no one really talks about. Because I feel like some things are good for certain levels of beings, but other things will just not work at all.
Well, yeah, when you like look into demonology and stuff, there are hundreds of them. And just like our beings and stuff, they're just slightly different. So there's just thousands of them. Mm-hmm. So you're probably right.
And the whole like the names have power thing probably makes it very hard for people to navigate this hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And so just all the lack of information ensures that we don't know how to effectively deal with whatever comes our way.
Yeah.
Just makes it easier for them.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword with them.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. How old were you when you did that? Well, did you say you made a Ouija board?
Yeah.
You and your friend? How did you make it?
Just
no one tried this.
Back of a cereal like thing. We just like cardboard, paper, and then
wood that has gone through torture to become
yeah. And then we just drew on like all the letters, the yes, the no, the goodbye, added our own little designs, made our own little like
like Pinterest. Like,
Yeah, like we put a lot of work into it, and that's probably why it worked.
I mean, it's probably not hard to make something work, considering it just takes a name to summon it.
That energy.
Yeah, they made it really easy for them to get you.
Yeah. And then because it was at my house, that's why I was the one who was affected by it, not my friends.
Yeah. How old were you both?
Oh, I think I was 12.
Wow.
By the way, I wasn't living with her, so I was completely fine. I was like, also, I think it probably also stayed with you because at that time of your life, like you're also just a lot of transitions were happening.
Yeah.
It was very turbulent emotions and stuff.
And I was very vulnerable in that state too. So perfect prey for them.
What made you both want to do that?
Like what made me and my friends want to do a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Yeah. we watched, I think we watched a scary movie and we're like, let's give that a go. And then we just made it, and then we freaked each other out with it, and we're like, you're the one pushing it. No, you are. And then they're like, well, I'm done with this. This is boring. You guys are just playing tricks on me. So then we didn't like close it properly. And yeah.
You know, it's the fact that this is not even an isolated incident and that happens everywhere. Because even in my school, I remember I had a group of girls who also made their own Ouija board and did a whole thing in their attic. I don't know why it's always a group of girls doing this. Like, definitely some sort of investigation needs to be done in the psychology mental. Anyways, but they also did that, and they were like, "Yeah, it was super freaky," and it was like stuff started happening. And we're like, "Okay, you do you. Don't bring that stuff to school."
Yeah.
Don't bring that stuff to school.
Anything like that?
No. Well, man, I don't know. I was just always told not to mess with those, like never. But I can't even remember how I even found out about those. I think they used to have commercials on they
sell them at
yeah, they sell them, and I remember I can't remember, but I think that's where I first seen it was in a commercial. And then I don't even know what it said. Honestly, I'll probably look up a commercial, a Ouija board commercial after this to see like how they marketed it. And
it's such a weird thing to market.
Invite
to your home. Fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family.
Just 6.5. Treating the demons young, you know. Start possession at a young age.
Like, why are the board? Like, why is it with the board games?
You know, they have capitalism, the board game. Why not demon possession, the board game?
All the spirits. Have fun with family.
Like, bring back your loved one and their friend.
Ask it questions.
Family member.
Oh, I need to legit watch a commercial. And yeah, they still sell them too. I seen one. I think we were at Walmart and I seen one. Oh no, it was Spencer's in the mall. They had one. And I was like, damn, they still sell these. But I mean, I guess.
How about you guys? I've never seen a Ouija board.
Really?
Like never encountered one. They've never popped up in my life.
Wow.
Probably life is fine so far in my life. No demon problems whatsoever. I've never even seen a commercial for it. Just been sheltered from Ouija boards.
Oh my god. Damn, that's a hell of an experience. What about you, Joseph? You got any scary experiences?
I guess I was just like a smarter child when I was younger. And I never had any interest to like mess with anything that I didn't really understand. I kind of just liked doing cross country and hanging out with my friends, going to the local diner for some pie shops, very Riverdale stuff without all the drama. Yeah, no. Oh, you know what? One thing though, to bring everything I just said back down, our mother she always brings up stuff that will just come into our lives. I remember this one day, out of the blue, she messaged all of her children being like, beware of the black spirit. Just really just sharing the name around.
Yeah.
And like at first I was with my friends, we were just like in the field, like breaking open bottles of glass. We didn't have a bottle opener, not alcohol, it was just like the old Coke bottles they had. We got them because they were super cute, but we didn't have a bottle opener, so we had to like hit them against the goalie post. Mine exploded. Anyways, we were like we're talking about the black spirit, and then we're like, oh, that could be it. And then like our mom was like, rub like oil and stuff on walls and things. And I was living with my dad at the time, and I was like, I don't really want to mess up our walls. Like, I just painted this thing. So I like didn't do any of that. But then like in my dreams, I swear I had like a series of dreams where there was just this like dark spirit entity that would try to attack me. But like I was fine. I was just like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Like no means no.
Yeah, he visited me too.
Did the rounds on the family.
Oh.
Yeah, mom was really shook by her dream by him. Basically, she was dreaming that she was sleeping in her room at the time, and this like dark shadow thing just was holding her down and was trying to get in her, and she's like, no, I'm not letting you in me, no, go away. And then he's like, well, if I can't have you, I'm gonna go after your children.
Yeah, probably definitely like doing the rounds on the family to find the best way in, but I guess we held up kind of okay, except Mackenzie.
Yeah,
she's a mess sometimes.
Yeah. And then like after she said that, I was like, oh, okay. So I did the
already dealing with the Ouija board demon. Like just add it to the docket.
It's like, I'm already dealing with Gerald here. I don't need to do what's this shadow thing. And then shadow thing decided to visit me. Yeah.
Whoa.
Not fun.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for me. I've been pretty fine.
Damn. Whoa. So is that what'd you say, the black spirit? Is that what that is?
We don't know what he
It's
is.
just a black shadow figure man.
Yeah, like just very tall and just dark.
Who's walking down?
Oof. Yeah. For me, in my dream, I was in an attic and I was with like these other people, and one by one they kind of just disappeared, and I was like, okay, well, this like, what the hell's going on? And then I like looked to where I guess the opening for the stairs was, and then all I see is like this tall dark figure, and then as he's walking closer to me, the rest of the attic just gets enveloped in like this thick darkness, and it just like follows him, and he's coming closer and closer to me. And then I like woke up.
Again, like you just have a plethora of stories that we can exploit. You're just not sharing them.
Yeah. And then cut to about a few years I think, yeah, about a year or a year and a half after I had just moved to Alberta for a bit, and I was living on my own. This is my first time living on my own too.
And you chose Alberta.
Yeah. And my apartment already had like some weird vibes to it. And so, I cleaned and, then this one night I'm in my bed and I'm sleeping, and I remember being like in my apartment, but if you looked out the windows, it was just black and there was just like nothing there. And at the time I didn't have my cat with me, but my cat was in the dream. I was like, "Oh, Olivia, nice to see you. Thank you." And then I like looked around the room, and my like curtains had been like viciously like ripped off, and just everything in this apartment seemed off and weird. And so I like picked her up and we just start walking around, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not my home. I must be dreaming." And then so I like decide to go back to my bed, and I see something on the corner of my eye, and it's just hanging in the corner, just watching me. And so I like lay down and I like told Olivia, my cat, to just run. I said, "Just go, I'll deal with this." And then so I like look at him, and this is the first time I've ever seen his face. And it was just green, and like his eyes just looked really dead and gross. And he like reached at me like that, like he just jumped towards me and landed on top and started like trying to get in. And so I was like trying to find anything to like get him off me. I at the time kept a Bible my mom gave me close by. And so I like saw it, grabbed it, rolled it up, and just started beating him with this Bible and told him to get the F out of here and leave me the f alone. And then I woke up.
Oh, I love the self-censorship. Had you noticed anything before that? The dream?
No, it like what do you mean?
Well, just anything happening.
No.
So it was probably like a preemptive strike then.
Yeah.
He just maybe it was like didn't really know what he was doing. It was like first time on the job.
Yeah.
Like
it was
okay.
yeah. So like when I first woke up, didn't see him there. Just saw Olivia. And then I started to like get a feel for my surroundings, and I noticed that it was just really dark and it felt cold and didn't feel like my home. It felt like someone was trying to make me think that I was in my apartment, but I wasn't. And then when I went to go lay back down, that's when I saw him, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna probably have to fight this guy off or fight him. I don't know what to expect. And then so as soon as I said like, Olivia, just go, yeah, he just full on attacked me and was trying to get inside my mouth and like trying to, have you ever seen The Conjuring?
Mm-hmm.
When the mom is upstairs sleeping and the witch lady comes and just
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was trying to do to me. But I managed to grab the Bible and smack him before he could do that.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
Yeah. And then he was shocked that I managed to free myself, because I was like, no. And I just remember myself like wiggling, and I just focused on just moving just my arm at least to just reach for something. And then, yeah, it just happened to be the Bible that I kept under my pillow. And I quickly managed to roll it up with like one hand and just smacked him. And he was so shocked and was like, "Oh, what?" And then I got up and just smacked him again and got him, off me and stuff and away from me.
Whoa. That's crazy how you could, you're controlling yourself in your dream.
Mm. That's the first time that I've ever had control in my dream, too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that. I think about it a lot. I usually just run.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dreams are like, when it's something scary, it usually takes place in either a dark room, like pitch black, can't see anything, or it's a giant house, but the house is a long hallway, and it's just this long hallway with different rooms, like a kitchen, bathroom, front room, and that's it. Like, that's all I can see. And it's usually like, I haven't had a scary dream in a long time, actually. The last one I like remember that was legit, like, freaked me out. This was like, damn, 2012 maybe, when I was going through some stuff. I really didn't know like what to do with my life or anything, so I was just kind of like looking for any kind of enlightenment, I guess. And I was praying a lot. I didn't really know like what that meant, I guess. I just heard people say it and kind of find your way. So maybe I was dabbling in stuff like I didn't know like what it, because I didn't know anything about anything. I was just, tired of where I was at, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. And so anyways, I had this dream where I remember it, where I walked into this bedroom and there was this bed, and there were all these people like around this bed, but they were dressed as like like they all had tuxedos on, but they were like old, like it was like an old setting, and they were all lined up around this bed, and there was this lady in the bed, and she was like tied, like they had her tied up like from her wrist to her feet, and she was like just laying there. As soon as I walked in that door, like everybody, including that lady, like looked at me. Like all those men turned their heads and looked at me. It was all men, and they all looked at me, and I stopped in the doorway, and I was like, "What the hell?" I kept walking in, and then when I walked in though, and I got closer to them, all those men looked at that lady, and that lady put her head down. And we're just standing there, and there was like a radio that was near her bed, and there was like screaming, like torture, I guess. And I was like, what's going on? And some dude just out of nowhere came in the room, and he said, like, you ever seen this before? And I was like, what is this? And he said, just pay attention. And then he like disappeared, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, do I help this lady? Like, I don't know what's going on. And some dude came in, like tall guy with a tuxedo, and he had a book in his hand. I'm assuming it was the Bible. I'm assuming. I didn't really know. And he started like shouting, but I didn't know what he was saying. Like it was just, he was speaking another language. And then then those men started like moaning and groaning around that bed. And then that girl that was tied up, like she started freaking out, like trying to yank herself like free from those ropes. And she was like shaking that bed, and I mean it seemed so real, like it was a vivid dream. And she was screaming, and then those torture screams from that radio or whatever it was, a recording or something, it was her, and it got louder and louder and louder. And like it was like shrieking, it was like piercing my ears, and I was like, what the fuck, And then I don't know what those men were saying. I have no idea. I don't know if they were praying or if they were, I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea. And anyways, like she broke free from those ropes, and her arms and her legs like grew like a spider. Like she grew into this spider, and her body like kind of got it became like longer to like a spider, I guess, and her head like snapped back like backwards. And it was like I watched this whole thing happen. And then as this was happening, like her legs, like they became like sharp points. So she started stabbing those men and killing these men. And I was like, what the fuck? So I like ran off and she was like screaming and crying and like just shouting. Like you could hear those men like just getting killed. So I ran off and it was just a hallway. And then I ran into the bathroom. And man, you could just hear this like doosh, 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 like it was her, like this giant spider, like just like coming towards me. And I ran to the bathroom and I laid in the tub and I just like I like closed that curtain and I was like, oh my God. And I just like laid there. And then I could hear her coming closer and closer. And then she walked past me and she started like walking away. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm good. And nope, all of a sudden, like she just pops up out of nowhere, like her body, like her twisted neck, like gets at my face,
Yeah.
and it scares the shit out of me. And she's looking right at me, and she said, "Remember me, Hideon." And I woke up, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Like she like said this name, Hideon, and I woke up, and I wrote that name down. I knew how to spell it for some reason.
Oh.
It's not the way you think it sounds.
Yeah.
It's another way. And I started doing research on it and I couldn't find anything on it. And I started asking like friends about it. And this one guy, he's like really like Christian and Catholic, like he knows all this stuff. So I asked him, I was like, hey man, I was like, have you ever heard this name Hideon before? And he goes, how do you know that name? And I was like, it just came to me. And he goes, that's a demon. And then I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, that's a demon. He's like, that was like way back in the day though. Like this demon was like, it used to like take lives and stuff. And he was like, how do you know that name? And I was like, all right, man. So I told him the story. He's like, yeah, you should probably like change what you're doing or try to seek help or something. I was like, what do I do? I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just like a 23-year-old kid. Like, I don't know how this like found me. I was like, this is so weird. Like, I've never heard that name before. I've never heard it. I've never thought of it. He was like, I don't know, man. He goes, I guess you'll just have to figure it out. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, and so I told some people, we smudged, we prayed about it, and they said just don't be afraid of it. You know, don't if you have like more dreams, maybe try to control yourself. Like I don't know what that meant. I was like, okay, but I never had a dream about it ever again. Like it scared me enough. Like I was freaked out. Like when I woke up, I was like, damn, like that was such a vivid dream. Like it seemed so real, and I could hear like all these screams and just this like loud spider thing walking. Like it was so real and weird. And but they just said like, don't think about it, try not to think about it, you know, forget that name if you can. And never forgot that name. Like I've never forgot that name. But that was like the last scary dream I've ever had.
You know, this sounds like the beginning of like a possession type thing. And like not to freak out or anything, but this is like, but all the people like helped you get better and stuff. You know what I think? It's probably waiting.
Damn.
Waiting for a trip up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they.
Because like if it's a demon, that's all the time in the world. A human life is probably a second. It's
time
just like
is.
We're just like you're gonna die soon.
Time is.
But it definitely sounds like one. It probably is like it's probably her go-to of like how to first possess people. It's like feel sympathy for me, investigate me, learn more about me.
Also, the fact that like if I was in your position, I probably would have untied her.
I probably would have sped it up
without realizing what she is, because they like to play on our empathy a lot of the times too. Yeah, crazy.
So like, also I was just thinking about this, like tips to like recognize when you're dreaming and stuff. I guess if you really want to recognize if you're dreaming, like that's a really big goal you want to do. I guess what you could do is just always question if you're dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like just be like, at some point of the day, just be like, am I dreaming right now? Because like if you get in the habit of just questioning it, eventually in your dreams, you'll be like, am I dreaming right now?
Yeah. So recently, like the past year, I've been starting to like tap myself or just like my hands just throughout the day, just to help like ground myself to this reality, to this plane. And I, a few nights ago, had a crazy dream. I'd been in this place before. I knew that like something bad was going to happen, and I was just kind of done, and I didn't want to do this dream anymore. And I was starting to freak out because I was realizing I was dreaming, and I was like, no, I'm not supposed to be here. And then I felt stuck because I was like, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I can't get back to my body. And then like this like motherly figure showed up, and she's just like, breathe and remember to go outside. And I was like, what do you mean? And then so like what also told me that I was in a dream was I went like this, and I was like,
so small.
Yeah. And it felt like air, like I wasn't touching my hand. And I was like, no, see, I'm not here. This is not real. And then so she took me away from the group that we were with and was like, okay, like keep your voice down and just breathe and remember to go outside. And I was like, okay. And then so I just started to visualize my room, and I started hearing, because at the time they're doing like work on our literally they're doing construction work outside. So I started to try and pick up on those noises, and then eventually I heard them working, and then I could feel like my bed sheets. And when I finally managed to get myself out of this dream, it felt like I literally pulled myself out. Like I had to really pull myself from wherever the hell I was to get back to my body.
Oh my god. Okay, one, your hands are creepishly small. Like they're like rat hands. Like it's freaking me out. Like I haven't taken any edibles or anything, but I was like, they're like creepy small.
Okay, they're so baby hands.
It's like when you were like touching it, I was like, wow, that looks like a child's hand. Like you need like child's gloves or something.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, I have to use children's gloves.
That's so creepy. Anyways, two, I thought that it's like growth. You know, you're like starting to finally like recognize it. Because I remember before when you were telling me, you were like, yeah, you know, usually I just go through the sequence of it, but now like you're starting to like recognize it, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And three, just have like so much pent up. But like, yeah, like I have a lot of the same dreams, so I just usually recognize when I'm dreaming, and then like if I don't want to be dreaming, I'll just be like, let's not be here. Which reminded me of when you said that, because I was like, yeah, no, I do the exact same thing. Like, because a lot of times my brain is like really uncreative and it just recycles dreams, and I'm like, when I get like too scared, like sometimes I'll just stand because I like sleeping, but like if it gets too intense, like I'll just be like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'll just close my eyes and wake up. But but yeah, sometimes it doesn't always work. Like sometimes you'll be like, I want to wake up now, and it's like, I'm still here. And then like that's when it really starts to pounding. It's like, okay, how am I gonna get out of here? And a lot of times I just do it like concentrate even harder and I just wake up.
Mm-hmm. And that's what helped.
Yeah.
I was trying to feel, and that's something that if you start like meditating too, that's one of the things that they get you to practice is just closing your eyes and feeling your space. So like what sounds can you hear? What like textures are you sitting on? You know, like can you visualize your space without looking at it?
Yeah, like build that mental / inner strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then that helps get you out of those sticky situations.
Oh my god, you guys want to know a creepy story, like a creepy dream story?
Mhm.
Back when I like had new dreams and I didn't recycle them, there was this one really creepy dream. I only had it once, but maybe it was another thing, like I went into a different demon thing. This was my like little adventure into the demon realm. But I remember I was living in the middle of nowhere, Isuk, and I had my room had like 3 windows in it. It had like 2 windows on one side, and then there was a window above my bed, which is like, why? I hate that. It was like this tiny little window, and like behind it there was a rock. I always felt like something would look at me through it, but there's nothing there. But yeah, okay. So in my dream, I woke up and my room turned into like a cabin vibe. Like the walls were no longer stucco, but they were like
What?
wood. Yeah, like wood trunks type of thing, that kind of cabin. And it was like pitch black outside. My room was just lit by candles. You know what? I wonder if that was like the old house. Anyways, story idea. But I saw something outside circling my room, trying to get in. And I like couldn't leave my room. Like my door was locked. My door doesn't have a lock on it. Super creepy. I mean, it was a new door. Anyways, just feeding more into that old house vibe.
Yeah.
But I eventually it got into the room and it stabbed me in the back. Maybe I was like dealing with some weird friendship problems at the time, just like high school trauma. But I got stabbed in the back IRL in a dream.
Yeah.
In real dreams. I don't know. And I woke up immediately after being stabbed in the back, and like my back muscles were just spasming. And I lifted up like this because they were like spasming really hard.
Whoa.
And I had to like get on my side and like get back. That was the only time I really felt something in a dream.
That's crazy.
After that, I'm like, if it gets too intense, I'm done with it. I don't have the energy in the morning to be dealing with that sort of stuff. So that's dreams. We should make a story about that in an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we've got some sort of beings in our indigenous cultures.
Yeah. And we have so much experience. We could just like Frankenstein them together to make something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have like a couple dreams where I get stabbed. I think that's how I go. It's always the same side, and
So brutal.
it's somebody like legit. Like one time it was a piece of glass, one time it was a knife, and then there was a third time, and that was I can't remember what that was. It was like a piece of wood or something, like a sharp piece of wood, and they just
Where's
stabbed
the
me.
spot of the thing?
It's like right here on my left side, like
Yeah.
on my stomach right here.
Yeah.
It's always right there.
I know I should say that a lot. But like, if it keeps happening, it's probably the same thing trying to find a way to get into your Achilles heel sort of thing.
I was thinking the same thing. Just the fact that like it's a stabbing thing that's happening to you. And when you were explaining your dream with that demon thingy, how she was slicing and dicing. It definitely feels connected.
Maybe it's the same demon.
Damn,
but
might be.
Like I said, like maybe it's still trying to get you.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had something like that in a while. Like I've had those after that dream though. It was like, yeah, it was like it's only been 3 times, but actually, yeah, it's been like I had that the year after that, and then the year after that one, and then I haven't had it in a long time. Like, yeah,
like you just keep telling us stuff and looking at each other.
it's making sense now. Yeah.
If you want to go all in, I guess you could just make like a white sage necklace. It'll be super cute. Like what is like those lighters they use lighter fluid for?
Butane.
They have a specific name and they're like a popular lighter brand. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Bic?
Is that
Yeah.
what- It's like they come in like a metal casing, and it's like an
Oh.
iconic casing style.
Okay, no,
And
not
you
that.
put like you fill it with like wool or something, and then it has like
Yeah.
they'll use the lighter fluid and put it in the wool. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, but like, what if you had like, what if you had something like that, but instead of the wool, it was like with sage. And so if you ever like in a pickle,
Yeah.
you're just like light it up, you're like,
Oh my gosh.
and you just throw it.
So we just started playing a new game called Phasmophobia. That's what that just reminded me of, that they should make something like that, because they've got like
This is driving me crazy. What is this lighter brown?
they have like this white they've got sage in the game. So like if you run into a being or
They
I think
really
you
need
really wanted to use it on a banshee or something like
They
that.
really need to console like indigenous people with this game.
They really do, because they shouldn't be using sage.
Zippo. By the way, that's
Oh,
what the
Zippo.
lighter is.
It's a Zippo lighter. But yeah, and like the sage only lasts for like 6 seconds.
Unrealistic.
I actually no, I think they made it a shorter amount of time now. But yeah, so if they had like a little, what was it called again?
Zippo lighter.
A Zippo lighter that had sage
Yeah, you
in
just
it.
refill it with sage. There you go. The modern cleansing tools.
Yeah.
What's that game called?
That's another we're writing down. Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a like you play as paranormal investigators. Yeah. And then you like go to a house or a prison. Sometimes you're at a school and you try to figure out what being is in the area.
I think they call them entities.
Yeah, entities.
Yeah, you're just kind of like identifying the entity and like.
So you use like spirit boxes, UV lights, sound.
You can even
stuff.
use Ouija boards.
Yeah.
If you find them.
If you can find the Ouija boards, sometimes they're in the maps and you can use them to contact the spirits as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun with friends. Yeah, like a group.
Yeah, I'm about to go signing a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? With
Yeah.
so like demon.
Well, now that I know what that is, no. I'm having this. So for the month of October, like I said, like I'm having like a bunch of people on talk scary stuff, and I love this one. We just went into dreams. Like I never even thought like, hey, let's talk about some scary dreams, but that was cool. I got some insight on what I'm dealing with now. So thank you. But I'm just
like,
kidding.
Yeah, tread carefully.
just keep yourself clean. Like,
or just like watch your back.
Yeah, watch your side.
Just smudge off, dude. Fine.
No, but I'm having this guy come over. He's a ghost hunter. Like he has a paranormal page and he goes out and hunts ghosts or whatever. And so the night before we do our podcast, we're gonna go on a investigation at this girl's house. She has a lot of activity going on, and so we're gonna do that. So that should be fun. Any advice?
For ghost hunting? I personally wouldn't do it, but there was this like derelict house that all the like kids went to. I never went there, so I'm pretty fine. But if you want to do it, like live your life. Don't let ghosts stop you. Just have self-confidence.
Oh god.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Don't be stupid. Don't be scared. And
listen to your
instincts.
Human instincts.
Yeah.
You've evolved so far with so many basic instincts. Why not just listen to them?
Well, yeah. And, they say that our gut instincts are our ancestors just trying to help guide us too.
Okay.
So if you feel like a situation is bad,
Ooh.
it's probably
Another
bad.
recommendation, if you haven't seen Hell House, you should watch Hell House, paranormal investigator type stuff. They're not investigators, but anyways, paranormal stuff. But basically what we got from that is just don't run towards the danger.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah, just have fun, I guess.
Yeah. Have some fun, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, dang, it's almost wow. We're in a long time. I can't believe how much time went by. But I want to try.
I'm like just been thinking about a chocolate bar this whole time. So close to just ordering.
This is awesome. Thank you both for coming on. I won't keep too much of your time. Yeah, we'll have to do it again. Can't wait for your new episodes, revamped episodes too. And yeah, I'm gonna try to release this maybe on the 1st. I don't know yet. Just depends. I got some other stuff. I got one more episode for September to come out, so I'm trying to make a decision on if I want your episode and that episode so close. So I don't know yet, but I'll let you know. You'll know when it's gonna come out. But
yeah, no worries. We of all people understand.
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, thank you. Shout out your social, how to follow you, and your podcast and everything.
Our website is thehistoricalnatives.ca. Everyone, Instagram, Facebook at The Historical Natives. And we're not far behind.
Yeah. If you want to reach out to us, you can either go on our website or any of our social medias as well. Yeah. Also, if there's any beings or creatures that like your listeners know of, send them our way, because we're just collecting as much as we can, and we'll eventually get to them when we get to them. But yeah,
hell yeah,
we appreciate all the help that we can get.
Awesome. Yeah, so everybody go follow them, check out their website, and if you want to show or you want to tell them about some beings, let them know, and they'll get an episode out about it. But thank you so much.
Or even if you have experiences with them too.
Ooh, yeah. Or dreams.
In episodes, we want to do interviews with people who have had encounters. So reach out.
Yeah, reach out. Even dreams too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody reach out. So everyone reach out, hit them up, experiences, dreams, or just things you heard of and you might want to know more info about. You know, their podcast is for that. So thanks again, both of you, for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, everybody. Peace.